Hi, I'm Mary Carreón, and I am the editor-in-chief of DoubleBlind.
And I'm Shelby Hartman, DoubleBlind's co-founder.
And here are the best things to do on acid. There are lots of things to do on acid. I think LSD is a substance that makes you want to do things. It makes you want to get up and go. It's very hard to sit still. So I work with it in that capacity. I consume, whether that's a microdose or a tab or, a microdose or a tab, and I like to do stuff. One of my favorite things to do on acid is dance. I love dancing. So taking it at a music festival, for instance, is probably my most favorite thing. There's lots to look at. There's usually a lot of music going on, a lot of stimuli to engage with that makes the experience very fun.
Tell me more about that. So I actually have never done acid at a music festival. Can you believe it?
Okay.
I've done MDMA at a music festival, which I liked because I'm a grandma and I like to have my bonnet and my bathrobe on at 8 p.m. So MDMA just, helps me stay going.
Yeah, keep going.
Hang with the kids all night long. Acid, I assume similar.
It is absolutely similar. Yes.
What else?
Yeah, it's absolutely similar. It gives you that get up and go when you've been at a music festival, maybe for 5 or 6 hours, and your feet might otherwise be very tired. Your back might hurt. You might be feeling fatigued after a day of walking around or being in the sun or in the heat. And LSD really makes you not feel all those things. You can just keep moving. You can keep dancing. You can often talk to people depending on how much you've taken. And also that's a major discussion of this whole topic that we're discussing right now. For me, taking one tab of LSD is too much for me to engage with the people in a proper, normal way.
Engage with the people?
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. I need to usually kind of lay down for a little bit. And then when I emerge from that lay down come up situation, I am in reptilian mode and engaging with people in a very strange capacity. So often, some people love it. Some people love that and they love that experience. For me, it's a little tough to want to dance and be with people. I am on my own mission at that point. I am on my own choose your own adventure situation in the context of a music festival, which is why places like Burning Man are actually wonderful for a larger dose of LSD. As long as you're able to kind of contain yourself. Also, access to bathrooms is important at that time as well. You need really everything with you. So a backpack, you want to make sure that you have water with you. If you can have a fruit with you, like an orange or something, you need the basics with you. Also, if you're at Burning Man, carry your own toilet paper, etc. You want to make sure that you have everything covered.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that up because I had a couple experiences on psychedelics at Burning Man where I was headed out with my friends for the night. We're going to have so much fun. And then you get on the bike and you're biking out to the middle of the playa, the desert, so to speak. They call it the playa. And, get to some giant dome with a DJ and 300 people inside, oots, oots, oots. And everyone's yeah, let's go in. And all of a sudden, the acid hits and you're oh God, I don't know about this. Yeah. Right? And you just really want a place to lay down and to take a moment for yourself, right? And so I think, any psychedelic, but, especially, a substance like acid or shrooms, which can be a lot of fun and can be very pro-social, but also can make you feel internal, also can make you feel self-conscious, also can make you feel paranoid.
Yes.
Thinking about all that ahead of time, right? And knowing that you're with friends who got your back, who aren't going to be yay, DJ! And then you blink and they're on the other side of the dome and you're oh, fine. The people are crowding in around you. This never happened to me before. This totally happened. This exact thing happened to me. So making sure that you kind of have that buddy system in place, and that you're at a festival where there's gonna be open space to lay down or to take a moment for yourself if you need it, or if you just want it, right? Like if you just want to look at the stars or like hug a tree. I think festivals like Outside Lands are like amazing for that, because Outside Lands in San Francisco, because it's in Golden Gate Park, and there's a lot of like kind of forested groves where you can kind of wander away from the people and the stages. I think a festival like Jazz Fest in New Orleans is not a good festival. I mean, look, if you have experience on acid and you know like your own, you know how to regulate yourself and you know your dose and everything, like great, have at it. You probably don't even need this video. But but a festival like Jazz Fest, really, really hot, sometimes rains, tons of people, smells like crawfish everywhere you go. Someone's probably gonna spill a beer on your head, and there's nowhere to lie down. So, you know.
I would like to say that like maybe not taking an entire tab of acid is the middle ground here. Microdose. Because also, if you're somebody who gets very low energy, it's the perfect like boost to help you like push through to 3 or 4 a.m. for the after shows, which I hear is what Jazz Fest is actually all about.
No, Jazz Fest shuts down at like 7 p.m.
I know, but there's after shows like at all of the bars and around town and everything, which is like where I hear where like the party happens at that event. So yeah, a little bit of acid if there's going to be a lot of people.
Right.
But yeah, if there's wide open spaces, maybe you can take a larger dose. Also the caveat to all of this is really understanding how you are during that come up period, which can be a really tough time. So usually the first hour and a half that I have consumed mushrooms or LSD, I'm usually kind of incapacitated. I'm like trying to lay down or sit down or find shade, drink water. Also like be my own like goblin by myself, like while I'm coming up into this new consciousness. And then usually after that, which again, that's like a 2-hour window.
Right.
After that, I'm like, okay, I know where my feet are. I think I can do this.
Yeah, literally and figuratively. I appreciate you bringing that up. Babe, you ain't no good for me. That is oftentimes the most uncomfortable part of the trip.
Sure is.
And it's hard to say whether it's physiological because your body's sort of like getting adjusted to it. And
it's like getting your sea legs.
It's less this way on acid, more on shrooms, that you can get some kind of nausea and gastrointestinal stuff in the come up. But it's also, I think, for a lot of people, it's kind of the anticipation of what's to come, right? And especially if you're in an environment where, you know, you're overwhelmed, there's a lot of people around, there might be this feeling of like, oh God, like what's about to happen? Like, is it gonna be really fun or am I gonna be spooked? Or, you know, and so and then once you kind of get over that hump of like, oh, actually, this is really fun. I feel awesome. That's when you wanna like venture out into the crowds and go find that DJ or find that band or just wander around and see what inspires you.
Yes.
So just kind of preparing yourself for that and setting yourself up so that until you know that you're good, because what you don't want is like what I experienced, right? Which is that you head out into the crowds, like you take the drug, you head out into the crowds, and then when you're surrounded by 5,000 people, you start feeling like, oh God, you know. But,
it's tough.
Yeah,
it's tough. I also, my come-ups are always the most difficult parts of my experiences. Even when I take MDMA, I'm very nauseous through the come-up, and I often do need to expel the things inside of me. Even if nothing is actually inside of me, I need to like have that experience. And it's like that with LSD as well. It's also like that with mushrooms. I guess I just kind of get a little vommy out there in the world. But also, that's why I prepare for that. And also why I usually, when I'm out in the world or a music festival or going dancing, I'm on a smaller dose. So it's more controlled, and so I'm not like that person like vomiting in the corner.
Yeah, and just to be clear, I will say that, you know, it's good to be prepared for anything, but vomiting on the come up of shrooms and LSD is not super common. So no,
that's me.
You know,
I'm sensitive.
Yeah,
I'm a sensitive.
I just don't want people to be super spooked and think that. Because it can, you know, some gastrointestinal stuff on shrooms, but vomiting, not as common. LSD, usually people are fine. But You don't, oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it depends on everyone.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that you should be necessarily concerned about that, for sure. Especially if you have a place to, like, lay down and have water and take care of yourself during that time. It's like, you'll probably be fine.
I want to ask you a question, though. I'm curious about.
Yeah.
So, you had said that acid helps you when your feet are starting to get tired and you're feeling like you kind of need that boost of energy. But also, like, what has it done for you emotionally and sort of like intellectually or spiritually to be on acid in the world? In a crowd of people, potentially at a party or at a festival, right? I can tell you, like, a lot of times we say at DoubleBlind, like, if you're unsure of how you're gonna feel on a psychedelic, it's better to do it in a quiet, safe environment. But people can have very transformative experiences out in the world on psychedelics too.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, taking LSD and going to a music festival and seeing musicians, like actual bands, perform live, or, iconic DJs that you and many others really, really love, is it's one of my most favorite experiences in this entire world. I love it. Also on MDMA as well, for, I guess, kind of the same reasons, but different. LSD for me is a much more intellectual experience. I'm usually kind of in my head a little bit more in a creative way. I will watch a band, I will watch a performance, or gosh, if I'm watching one of my favorite bands, let's say, or watching a 12-piece jazz set, I am thinking very intellectually about these performances and like what it means to the culture, what it means for right now, what it's giving to the people, what it's giving me, what it's giving all of us as one, like, flowing body in the crowd. And honestly, thinking about that changes kind of your perspective about how people are existing in the world at large. As we are like one human body, on this earth, how are we taking care of the earth? What is the music giving us that is also giving to the earth? That's something that I'm always thinking about. I am not necessarily someone who likes the hyped up culture of Coachella, but because I love music, like I am a music nerd, and I love music festivals, going to a place like that where you can hit 10 shows in an evening, if you're really running around, it gives you a lot of information. It gives you a lot of inputs to kind of nosh on when you are on a substance like LSD. And it can tell you a lot about a culture if you see a band from Germany and then see a band from Brazil and then see, a pop star that you've never heard of from Mexico, and you're like, who is this? But wow, they are incredible. And like, what does this mean to the greater like socio-political environment of right now? Thinking about those things on LSD becomes a profound experience, and it means so much more.
Right, yeah. So what I think I'm hearing you say is that LSD allows for sort of a profound analysis of the world and a different way of digesting information. Yes. And so people sometimes talk about psychedelics. Sorry.
No. So I'm excited.
People sometimes, you're so excited.
I'm so excited.
We often at DoubleBlind talk about psychedelics as an internal experience and how you can do a psychedelic to heal your own mental health distress, which is probably best done in an environment where you feel safe, like your home or a ceremony. But also what you're saying is there's a lot that can move, and in terms of inspiration, in terms of your own life, in terms of revelation, when you feel safe enough, and that's important, but when you feel safe enough to take a psychedelic like LSD and venture out into the world.
Absolutely. And I would also say that particularly at music festivals, taking any psychedelic, for me, LSD gives me this experience as a journalist, somebody with an already very critiquing kind of mind, and I show up to music like this as well. But having the experience of being in a crowd and having that like oneness experience with the crowd at a show where everybody is really into what is happening and everyone is dancing, and there really is this universal sense of catharsis happening where everyone is moving, singing, crying, dancing, having ecstatic experiences. Who knows if they're on drugs? I know, obviously, I am in that experience or in that scenario. But everyone is having such a profound experience, regardless of being on psychedelics or not, or maybe smoking a little bit of weed or something like that. But it's the music that's actually giving us access to catharsis, to what people experience as church, you know, and that is like it is a religious experience. And that is one of the ways psychedelics has facilitated for me religious experiences. And it's always been in conjunction with music. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's like a holy thing. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So that's why I love it. And whether MDMA, whether LSD, mushrooms too, but those are the three usually that are my music festival go-tos.
What about just going out in the world? Like if you live in a city, walking city, taking some acid and just, it's on a sunny day and just, you know.
Oh, I love it.
Walking around.
Oh, I love it. It's my favorite. One of my favorite things to do is to like walk through neighborhoods and observe everything going on.
There's so much happening in neighborhoods.
There's so much.
There's so many signs on people's lawns. There's so many trees in people's yards.
I mean, God, if people have like a pop-in garden happening in their front yard, like you bet I will stand in front of your house, like.
But don't stand for too long, guys.
I mean,
because then someone's going to come out and be like, who are you? And then you're going to have to talk to them while you're on acid.
Yeah, I mean, I love to observe the roses. If somebody did come out, I would tell them, like, your roses are beautiful, and then, like, run away.
Right. Just have that line memorized in advance.
Your roses are beautiful.
Your plants are beautiful. Keep walking. Hello, I just helped you observe your plants. They're beautiful.
Okay, bye. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Or, you know, one of my favorite things, especially if you're walking through neighborhoods, is also walking with your dog. Mm-hmm. I mean, dogs really love a nice long walk, first of all. And if you can walk with them,
depends on the dog.
If they're good walkers, obviously, if they're good walkers, walking through neighborhoods is incredible.
Yes.
I love it.
I think one of the best things about walking through, it's so funny, there's so much to say, but
I know.
Truly one of the best things about walking through a neighborhood is that you get the experience of being out in the world, right? Which kind of gets you out of your own environment and prompts you to think about things in a new way. Mm-hmm. But it's still kind of safe enough, right? Like, especially if you're walking in your own neighborhood, that like if you start to get spooked or you start to get tired, like you can just come home.
Yes.
As opposed to like, it's not highly recommended, I would say, to like get in an Uber and go somewhere and then you have to get an Uber home or to drive somewhere.
I was gonna say, don't drive.
People do have like amazing experiences driving like to the beach or driving to the redwoods or driving somewhere and like taking acid and spending the day and then driving home.
Sure.
And so I don't want to discount that.
Sure.
And also, obviously, you run the risk that like you are on acid, you are somewhere you don't want to be, and now you have to like drive home or call an Uber.
Yes.
So
it takes a lot of planning to do that, though.
Right.
To like whether like if you're doing a day trip to the redwoods or a day trip to the beach or a day trip to the mountains or a Joshua Tree, and then you plan to take something there.
Yeah.
You know, you really have to bring everything for like a day camping experience. Mm-hmm. You want to bring shade, like because you can't depend on other places like the beach having shade for you.
Right.
You have to bring an umbrella or bring like a awning or like a tent kind of thing. You have to bring lots of water. You have to bring a blanket to lay down, sit on, a chair probably.
Snacks.
A lot of snacks. A lot of water, a lot of juice, whatever you like to sip on. Although probably not recommended to sip on alcohol.
Yeah.
It depends. It depends on you. It depends on you.
Depends on what you're trying to get out of the experience.
It depends on you.
Look, at DoubleBlind, I like to say, you know, we like to be chill about things, okay? And so, like, people do, you know, a lot of people in the psychedelic community be like, oh, no alcohol when you're on a psychedelic. True. People do it all the time. You're at a festival, you're on acid, you want to have a beer, it's not going to kill you, okay? No. But it's going to change the experience.
Yes.
And that's the thing that's worth noting, because the experience itself is like, you know, wanting to unfold. The spirit of the medicine wants to take you in a certain place.
Yes.
And if you drink alcohol or you smoke weed or whatever it is that you do that you add to the mix, it's just obviously gonna change the experience. So
Absolutely.
be mindful about whether you're wanting to change the experience or whether you're wanting to just let things unfold. And when your friend says, hey, want a beer? If usually you'd be like, yeah, man, maybe just take a minute to be like, do I actually want a beer right now?
Yeah, I think that's perfect. And there's nothing wrong, obviously, with drinking, but if you are also maybe not super experienced on psychedelics as it is,
Right.
maybe just, I don't know, take a beat.
Yeah,
Take a beat.
Take a beat.
Take a beat. Or wait a few hours,
Mm-hmm.
wait a few hours.
I do think the point you made about dosage is really important because
It's key.
yeah, I mean, in the psychedelic community, sometimes we refer to, sort of a small to medium dose of psychedelics as a museum dose, right? Like you have your microdose, you have your museum dose, you have your heroic dose. I don't know, maybe I'm missing one. But the point being that something that is bigger than a microdose, so you know that you're gonna feel it, you're gonna be on a psychedelic, but not something that's so big that you're gonna get blown out of the water and be incapacitated
Exactly.
and process your whole life and all your trauma and all of
Exactly.
your ancestors, and the trees are gonna be talking to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
whatever that sweet spot is for you, and we have a lot on Dosage on our website, in the other videos on our YouTube channel. We're just cracking up over here. And also, in this lovely new book, I swear we weren't talking this whole time just to get to the part where we tell you to buy our book, but I do genuinely want to share this because we worked so hard on it, and it's basically a coffee table book version of the magazine, and has lots of beautiful photographs and reporting on psychedelics, as well as information on how to journey.
Look how beautiful this is too. I'm
There's
not sure if you can tell, but there's clouds. It's so nice. Also, one of the best things to do on psychedelics is look at the clouds. If you have not taken mushrooms and looked at the clouds, get on it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you don't have to overthink. Look, there's all kinds of amazing things to do on acid, but really, like, you don't have to overthink it.
No.
I mean, going to a park
Yes.
near your house
Yes.
with a blanket and a cooler is like a really wonderful thing to do. You will see things in the clouds you have never seen before.
Oh, and it will blow your mind. It's honestly one of the most moving experiences I've ever had. Staring at the clouds on mushrooms changed
totally.
my life.
It did.
Yeah, it totally
What
did.
did you see?
Well, it was the first time I ever saw sacred geometry.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God, like, okay, I get it. I understand, like, I'm getting to the meaning of life here. Like, I understand what's going on. I understand what inspired many indigenous cultures. Like, I get it. Okay, like, done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. I mean, acid, one of the things that I think is the most amazing about it, this is the case for all psychedelics in some way, but I think really acid is very good at this, is helping you notice just the most minute of details.
Totally.
And so you might think like, oh, I'm going to do acid. I want to go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art and, see like a bunch of really epic paintings and sculptures, or I want to go to a music festival with 5,000 people. Those are really cool things to do. Like if you want to do that, figure out a way to do that where you feel safe and the dosage is right, etc. But I kid you not, you might, when you're on acid, find the blade of grass that is already on your lawn to be the most fascinating thing you have seen in your whole life. You might not have to go very far to see a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll give you a whole new take on like Walt Whitman and everything.
Yes.
It will totally change the way that you look at nature, the makings of nature, the beauty of nature, all of it, just from a simple blade of grass.
Yeah, and I think, speaking of nature, it's so cliche, but like, do acid, go into nature. I will say...
No, but for real.
One thing you can do, if you have the time and the resources, is you can book a weekend in nature at like an Airbnb or something that is, walking distance from trails or walking distance to the ocean. That's kind of the best of all worlds, because then you have your little safe pad that you can come back to if you need to get cold or whatever it might be. You need food, stuff like that. But
exactly. Yeah, I'm going camping next weekend.
Nice.
I'm going to. I'm not Joshua Tree. I'm going to Big Sur.
Are you gonna do acid?
Maybe. Well, no. I think I'm gonna do mushrooms.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't wait for that exact reason because it's close to trails. And I have like a glamping tent this time. I'm not staying in an actual tent. So very excited about that. I'm staying at Fernwood.
Oh, nice.
I know.
It'll be so beautiful.
I'm very excited. I need it.
There's just so many things that it's like literally infinite.
Yeah, stargazing. Some people like to watch movies or like go to the movies on LSD.
I don't know that I would enjoy that.
I am not really a movie person. It's not that I'm not a movie person, but I just don't really go to the movies too often. I like to be at home in my pajamas and watch a film or something, which I guess you could do that.
Yeah.
On any psychedelic, really. But yeah, I don't know. I like to move around. So sitting in like an enclosed place where there's a loud script playing over a screen is like intense for me.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, like we said, it's just if you want to see something in a new way and you're very passionate about it, a small dose of acid is great for that. So if you are a cinemaphile and you like love movies, like you love Fantasia and you've seen it 500 times, but you want to see it in a new way, you want to hear the music in a new way, you want to think, like, just feel almost like you're seeing it for the first time, like Zen mind, beginner's mind.
Totally.
Acid is amazing for that. If you're a person that loves visual art, a museum is going to be amazing for you on acid. And of course, we all know Mary loves music. So if you're like Mary and you love music, go to a music festival.
Yeah, or a concert. But also, maybe if you're someone who likes both music and film, you can do the whole Wizard of Oz, Dark Side of the Moon situation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's a little cliche.
Go wrong with that.
Yeah, it's a little cliche at this point, but for a reason. So
basically what this is you put on Wizard of Oz, but you mute it, and then you also play Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon at the same time.
Yeah, started at the same time, and I guess there's something that happens.
It's supposed to be really epic. I've never done it.
I've also never done it.
I saw some people doing it at Burning Man, and I was like, maybe I should join them, but I just kept my game.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that's funny.
Do we have anything more to share with folks about acid?
I don't think so.
Be safe, kids.
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah, and just a reminder that if you love this video, you can like and subscribe for more.